All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. In just a minute here, we will be joined by Daniel Lippman from Politico. But before we do that, I told you we'd get back to our busy phone lines, which are 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the program, 702-257-5396. Let's start off with Brady. Brady, what's going on?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. I wanted to bring up Joe Biden and all the gaffes he's making. And I think that's the reason Article 25 was written, because if somebody got into power like him, who's showing basically the early stages of Alzheimer's and dementia, we got problems, and that's why that was written. It wasn't written for Trump to get impeached. It was written for a man like Crazy Joe.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Why do you call him crazy?
Just look at how many gaffes can you make in a week. How about dial 30330?
So let me get this right. You think Joe Biden is crazy for a few gaffes, but you would never call Donald Trump crazy, right? He tells the truth all the time. He never makes any mistakes. Is that your position, Brady?
I don't think I'm not saying Trump doesn't make mistakes, but he doesn't make any stupid gaffes like Cujo.
So how about in the last week? If you want to talk about Biden, let's talk about Trump. He said 7 to 14 people died in Puerto Rico. Is that not a crazy mistake or a lie?
It was about 50 and not 2,970.
First of all, you don't know that, number one. And number two, there has been research that has shown 3,000 people died. Now, if you don't think 3,000 people died, that's fine. But there's not one person on the planet that thinks it was between 7 and 14. And the reason why I bring this stuff up is because Donald Trump lies on a regular basis. You would never call Donald Trump crazy, but you listen to Donald Trump and you call Joe Biden crazy. Now, listen. I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden. I am not a Joe Biden defender. The man has had a very difficult life. He's served this country honorably. He is a good, decent man. Now, yes, does he make mistakes? Could he have early signs of dementia? Sure, that's possible. I don't disagree with you. But when you disrespect him and call him crazy, or lazy, the way Donald Trump does, it's because you're a follower, Brady. You follow Donald Trump. You say and do whatever he says.
Well, how about, can we go back to Sleepy then? I mean, maybe that categorizes him a little bit more timidly.
Well, how about con artist Trump? Do you like that?
Oh, I don't mean that. I don't mind con man Don. I like that.
You like that?
We like that. I like that.
You like the fact that our president is a con, and you like it?
I don't think that Joe Biden is crazy. I do think that it's reasonable to assume at this point, based on his recent behavior, that his mental condition is deteriorating.
I just find it funny that...
And I'm not sure he can lead the country.
I just find it funny that Brady is okay with calling Donald Trump a con man. 257-5396. Let's go to Stephen. Is Stephen not there? Okay, that number to call, 702-257-5396, if you want to be a part of the program. Johnny, who are we going to here? Who's the next caller? We're talking, obviously, about Joe Biden and the relationship. Okay, we'll go back to Stephen. Stephen, are you there, my friend?
Yes, at least I hope I am.
Yes, you are, Stephen. What's going on?
What's up, Stephen?
I wanted to commend JD. I haven't listened for a few days, and came back, and he's actually standing up to what I consider Soros stooges.
Soros stooges. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Well, Soros funds any anti-subversive, any left-wing progressive organization. He wants to destroy the country, just like his people did China.
Okay, so what does that have to do with Joe Biden? You think Joe Biden wants to destroy the country?
There'll be a lot of Soros stooges that'll support Joe Biden, anybody but Trump, because
he's relating.
Not a Republican, he's not a Democrat, and they can't control him.
Wait, hold on.
He wants to get rid of the swamp.
You think you're a stooge if you support Joe Biden?
Here's the thing. He's relating the Comey. I brought up Comey, and I defended Trump on Comey, and he's relating the Soros thing to Comey. One thing about Trump, and I will agree with what a degree of what Stephen says here, is that Trump cannot be bought. He's already a billionaire. He doesn't need any money.
I only have one question. Does the rule of law mean anything anymore?
Why don't you ask that to your...
going to be dissolved into a third world cesspool?
Have you asked that to the President of the United States? Do the rules not apply to him?
I know that's why he's running for office. He's trying to drain the swamp.
Oh, he's done it. You think Donald Trump is drained? What are you talking about, Stephen?
That they aren't either.
Stephen, are you complicit? Do you know how many people that have been fired from his administration or have gone to jail? What are you talking about? You think
Donald? How many people state their opinion and you talk over them and as if you're right?
Because you're an idiot. That's why, Stephen.
That was a solid comeback.
You think Donald Trump has drained the swamp?
In a couple of weeks. Keep it up, JD.
Hello. Why don't you address what I said, Stephen, instead of being an... Oh, hold on. You going to hang up the phone, Stephen? Yeah, because you're an imbecile and you're a coward. That's why you hung up the phone. We got to get to our guest here real quick, but I'll try to squeeze in a couple more quick phone calls. Then we got to get to our guest from Politico. Let's go to Dave. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, Dave.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good, Dave.
You know, it really is incredible how many people believe this guy, Trump. He is, as you so well state, a con man. I don't know that he's a billionaire. I don't even know that how much of a millionaire.
Yeah, release your taxes, you buffoon.
Right.
Well, I can tell you this.
And he fights, and he keeps people away from congressional hearings, and he changes laws, and he just completely is gutting our government, and these people follow him like sheep over a cliff to die.
Hey, Dave, I like you. Please call back, my friend. I like that phone call. You're one of my favorite callers.
Yeah, good call, Dave. And I will say this, Trump Tower alone, the real estate, the location of the real estate in the building is worth at least $500 million. And that's just one of his properties.
So what? He was given $500 million by his father.
He also owns, no, he wasn't. He also owns
$400 million company. That's a fact.
After he worked for it for 15 years to get it to where he needed to be.
Oh, please. He's a trust fund baby, and you know it. I'm going to take one more call, and then we're going to get to our guest. Let's go to Chuck. Chuck, what's going on?
What's up, Chuck?
Yeah, you know, you're talking about, hey, how you doing, guys?
I also enjoy saying
Trump not being nice and politics are dirty. Can I read a definition to you guys?
Okay.
Person who acts in a manipulative and devious way to gain advancement within an organization. Now, what's that the definition of?
Oh, okay, so you're saying you're okay with the...
Is it politics?
It's politician. I just...
Politician? Yeah.
Right now.
Okay, so are you saying you're okay with Donald Trump using that?
No, I'm saying this has been going on for years. And
I didn't say it hasn't.
Something new.
I don't disagree with you, Chuck, but I think that there needs to be a point where the president needs to show a little bit of intelligence and integrity, and I don't think Donald Trump has shown that since he took office.
He's giving us 400 G's a year to charity.
So because you get, so what? One of the Koch brothers has donated what? Almost $1 billion to charity. Does that make you a great person?
Here's a question. If Donald Trump died, what would Bill Maher do for celebration? That's what I want to know.
Bill Maher would not celebrate if the president died. Chuck, I hear what you're saying, my friend, but just because you donate a lot of money to charity doesn't make everything else right. Hello? Chuck?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I was waiting for a response from you. That's all.
Oh, no, I'm just listening to you guys. You guys are doing good.
Chuck,
hey, real quick, Ken Thompson's on, right?
Ken is going to be on in a few hours, Chuck.
Yeah, you ask him if he's going to the festival.
I will try to do that, Chuck. Or maybe you can call back and do it yourself.
Nah, I know he's going to the Fresno game this weekend at USC.
We'll ask him. But I don't want to let my guest wait on hold any longer. So let's get this guy in line with us right now. Does a great job for Politico. Daniel Lippman joining us right now on the line. Daniel, I'm sorry to keep you on hold, my friend. How are you?
Good. No worries. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Okay, so
thanks for coming on, Daniel.
The big story, Daniel, that we've been talking about is Joe Biden. Obviously, you want to call gifts, mistakes, and speaking to a crowd in New Hampshire. And is this like a Brian Williams type thing, in your opinion? Or is this just one of those things where he didn't intentionally do it, and the guy's just getting old and he's making mistakes? How do you see this, Daniel?
Well, either way, it's kind of damaging to the former vice president because it makes him look like he's not in touch with reality,
right?
And that he can't be trusted in terms of what he's saying. And so he kind of got every detail wrong about a story he was telling folks. And so that's just not he's kind of lost a step in the eyes of people I talked to who've known him for a while.
And, you know, he doesn't show a lot of emotion normally. And the one time he shows emotion, he does that. He tells the story incorrectly. I mean, can that be construed as pandering, you think?
I think remember how Hillary Clinton told a story about how she was under sniper fire when she went to Serbia or Croatia?
I do remember that.
Kind of politicians love to paint themselves as they are brave and they are withstanding danger.
They're patriots.
And it's just important to get this stuff right. And it reminds me of Brian Williams and other people who have kind of come up with stories that aren't really true.
No, you're right. I mean, maybe one day we'll see Joe Biden co-host the 12th hour with Brian Williams. I don't know. But if you're just joining us, Daniel Lippman with Politico. Okay, another big story in the last 24 hours, Daniel, as you guys have reported on, that President Donald Trump's personal assistant, with him since the start of the administration, has left the White House, basically fired for sharing intimate details about the president's family. What can you tell us about this?
Yes, I'm still working on my own story about this, but Westerhout has long been a gatekeeper to Trump, and she seemed to kind of play up her access to folks. And, she was at this dinner with reporters, but it's kind of unclear exactly what she said just yet. But Trump does not like people who are leaking about his family and about his administration, and so she kind of got too big for her britches. She's only 29, and she was acting like she was chief of staff and very close to Trump, and so this is kind of a big problem for her in terms of getting her next job as well.
I wonder what she could have possibly said that could have gotten her fired, Daniel. And I know we're speculating at this point and you're working on this, but it certainly wasn't something like, well, I think Donald Trump's hair is fake or Melania is cheating on him, I think. I mean, this isn't gossip stuff, right? It was probably something that was factually accurate that really ticked off Donald Trump.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you what I've heard from some sources this morning, but I will send you the link when people can go on Politico.com, hopefully in a few hours once I nail this down. But it was not good stuff, obviously, and it just painted the president and his family in a bad light. And so this is, you should just never. And I think she was drinking too much with these reporters, and then just word got around.
Yeah.
So this is,
there was alcohol involved. Okay. So
she was trying to be the center of attention.
So you're telling me that you have some sources, even though you can't share the information.
Reasonable.
But you have some sources that have told you what exactly she said in that meeting?
I'm still trying to confirm all of it, but it's just there are White House is a small place, and so word gets around, and so that's what my kind of job this morning is to figure out exactly what she said. And of course, it's hard when it was an off-the-record dinner with these reporters, and so they're not going to tell you exactly when. What she said.
I would have loved to have been in the Oval Office when she was fired. Loved to have heard Donald Trump, what he said. You said this and this and this about my family. You're fired. I mean, I would have loved to have been there for it. It would have been very entertaining. But
remember, she's the same person who, and she might have cried last night for all we know. There's a big book by Tim Alberta.
Yeah, she cried. She cried when he won the election, right?
And not tears of joy. And so that's telling. And there's, she was not well liked among some people in the Trump world.
She cried when he won, in a bad way, not a good way. Boy, that makes sense. I'll tell you what, Daniel, that's certainly somebody that I would like to have as my assistant. I choose somebody to be my assistant, and when I get a big gig somewhere, they cry in sadness. Yeah,
I like to have her as a guest on our show. I wonder if it was something about Trump's health or the way his family treats people or his mental state. It had to be something like that for him to react that way.
And we're speculating, but I'm sure Daniel will get that information out there when he can, and we'll continue to monitor it. Okay, Daniel, as you know, Donald Trump likes to brag about how many people are at his rallies. He even decides to do it in hospitals after mass shooting tragedies, right? So Don Jr. did this. He was speaking in basically an empty arena that holds 8,000 people. There are only 200 people there, and I guess he was a rally for Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin. So what can you tell us about this horrible crowd that showed up? It looked pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when you're the president and you're obsessed with crowds and not enough people show up to your event. And so it kind of reminds me, there was a great story Politico did yesterday about Kirsten Gillibrand, who thought she was a major candidate, and so she would have big announcements and no national media outlets would show up because they had reporters assigned to other top candidates. And so this is, just poor organization on whoever kind of put this together in Kentucky, and Trump is trying to help out Republican candidates for next year's elections. But if there is a historic Democratic turnout, there's going to be it's not going to be good news for people like Bevin.
Not at all. Well, Daniel, I'm a big fan of what you do over there at Politico. You guys do a great job, and I'll tell you what, if we can get an update on what exactly was said, maybe we could get you on the show next week. Would really appreciate that.
Sounds good. Although the story kind of, is pretty timely now, and so hopefully we break this soon.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Daniel, thank you so much for your time. We'd love to have you on again next week. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
there
thanks
you go.
a lot, Daniel.
They do a great job over there at Politico. That's Daniel Lippman. They are on top of things. They have sources. We'll sneak in a few more phone calls at 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the program is 702-257-5396. Why don't we sneak in a call from Andre, who's been waiting patiently on hold. Andre, what's going on?
What's up, Andre? Let's talk about Puerto Rico.
Hey, man, what's happening, man? Remember me, huh?
Yeah.
What's up, Andre?
Hey, man. Hey, listen, man, you guys do a tremendous job, man, and I know you guys are fairly intelligent guys, man.
Oh, you're way off on that. I'm very ignorant. You're way off on that one.
Well, sometimes you are. I'm going to give you that.
Okay.
Sometimes you are.
All right.
Listen,
Fair enough.
but listen, it amazes me how all these people with Trump derangement syndrome who are anti-Trump.
It's not Trump derangement syndrome. Just because you don't like. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's called sound logic to Brian.
This is how you know you have it, because you don't even let me finish.
Well, because you said something dumb. When somebody says something stupid, I'm going to call you out on it.
People have it because people cannot be mature and adults and separate.
You think the president's mature? You think the president's an adult?
See, here we go.
No, answer the question. Answer the question. Do you think the president? Answer the question! John McEnroe, answer the question! Answer the question! Do you think Donald Trump is mature? Answer the question right now.
You ready?
Right now.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Answer the question.
I'm ready, Andre.
You having a tantrum, huh? Okay.
Answer the question.
That would be an accurate statement. From what I'm seeing, yes, he's having a tantrum.
I'm mature enough to understand that some of the stuff that he does and some of the things that he says is not the way I would say them, and I would do them differently.
You're not answering the question.
He does is not correct.
You're not answering the question, with all due respect. I said, do you think the president is mature? Do you think the?
Of course he is. He's a grown man.
Oh,
He's
for
70 years
Christ's
old.
sake!
Now,
You are
does
so
he say he does
intellectually.
mature?
You are so intellectually dishonest. It's pathetic, Andre.
No, Andre. Here's a better question. Andre, do you think the president? Yeah, you can. That's fine.
Please, can I finish my point?
We're waiting. You've said it 5 times.
I'm just saying
Go.
that these callers be calling in, and they talking about how he's wreaking havoc on the economy, how the country is going to hell.
Nobody said that today.
I would ask him this. Is 3.5 unemployment percent wreaking havoc? It's the lowest unemployment in 50 years for Asian Americans, Latino Americans, Black Americans in the last 50
Okay,
years.
and I'll ask you this.
Havoc? The stock market is almost up 40, 50%. Is that wreaking havoc? It's
First
dealing
of all,
with China. It's
okay,
dealing with China.
First
and
of
holding
all,
them accountable
nobody is
for wreaking
called into
havoc.
nobody is called into the show today talking about the economy. I haven't talked about the economy. I didn't say Donald Trump was wrecking the economy. Why don't we focus on what we're talking about today and not what others? I can't speak for other people. Okay, I can't do that.
Let me ask you a question, Andre.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Do you think that President Trump is insecure?
I do.
Okay.
I'm growing up to see that, but see, what you're missing is this. We know all his faults. We understand them.
Right.
But if you're a fair-minded guy,
See,
you always see, you see the other side of it. You see the other side.
and here's how I know he's insecure. Because he never, ever, he never admits he's wrong.
We've established that.
Ever.
He definitely is.
got you there.
Okay, but hold on, Andre. Andre, why is it that you call somebody, like you'd probably say I have Trump derangement syndrome. You would probably label me as a left-winger, which I'm not. I've voted Republican. I voted Republican and Democrat.
Well, you're definitely a Trump hater.
Okay, so hold on. There's a reason why I dislike Donald Trump, and 95% of it has nothing to do with policy. It has nothing to do with politics. I know. He is a complete scumbag. And I can give you tons of reasons why. Right. Now, if you want to talk about the economy, you think everything's humpty-dory. Everything's not humpty-dory. Let's see where we're at in 2020. Okay. Let's see where the economy is at after 4 years, okay?
Well, okay, I'll just finish with this. It may not be you, but a lot of people, if all you could find is stuff that he's done negative and you cannot give him credit for anything.
No, I've given him credit.
Political hack.
Obama got
in a political hack.
Well, I can't speak for them. Obama got the economy headed in the right direction, and Trump has done a good job not screwing it up. And I've said that a million times.
Right. Okay, but let me tell you this: the thing that really got the economy going, and I'm a businessman. It was we had one of the highest corporate tax rates in the world at 38 to 40%. Trump brought it down to 21%. That's what got it moving. Obama didn't do that.
And actually, Obama made it almost impossible to start a small business or to get money from banks. And I agree. And the question is, Andre, are people going to vote based on what he says or what he does? And because what he does affects their personal life and their financial life. Brian is more focused on.
I vote with the interest of my pocket, my country, and my family.
And Brian is more interested in what he says.
No, that's not true.
I would say 85 or 90% of the country is interested in what he does.
That's not true. I also want a president that can put good policy in place and does not embarrass the country on a daily basis. Donald Trump embarrasses the country on a daily basis.
Hey, brother. Hey, ask China how they doing. They are having a rough time right now, and that's all because of Trump.
Andre, how about I ask all those kids without their parents and those 12-year-olds that are babysitting 2-year-olds how they're doing in basically jail cells? Why don't we ask them how they're doing right now?
The ones that Obama put in place when he was president.
First of all, that is not completely factually accurate, number one.
It is.
It's not. It's not completely factually accurate. That's a right-wing talking point, number one. And number two, what about the Trump policies that have been put in place the last couple weeks that allows them to remain in those cages for longer periods of time? Stephen Miller didn't really want to answer that question on Fox News the other day. Why don't you respond to that?
Okay, you know what I would say to that as a Puerto Rican Latino man? I said, if you don't want that to happen to your kids, don't bring them here illegally.
Completely, utterly ridiculous statement, because a lot of those people are seeking asylum, and a lot of those people feel like they have absolutely no choice. And to be able to say something like that shows that you have zero empathy, my friend. I appreciate the call, but just to say tough cookies, too bad, is utterly ridiculous. These kids don't have soap. A lot of these kids don't have soap. They're not able to take showers. It is ridiculous that you make that statement. I'm sorry. You're very complicit. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take.